Hey, so everyone talks about balance like it's something you achieve. One day you'll wake up and the mom guilt or the Mata guilt, if you're non binary like me, will be gone and the to do list will be manageable and you'll finally feel like you're doing it right. And I'm here to tell you that that's not how it works, but what actually does work. That's what this video is about. So I started building my business when my kids were little teeny tiny nugget babies. And for a long time, I felt like I was failing at both, too distracted to be fully present with them and too guilty to fully focus on my work. So in this video, I'm going to show you what balance actually looks like. Not the Instagram version, but the real, messy, imperfect, and actually sustainable version. So we're going to talk about the one belief that's keeping you burnt out, what a realistic good week actually looks like in my life, and the one thing most parent entrepreneurs try that creates more chaos instead of less. So, what's keeping you burnt out? It's this ceaseless pressure to do more, create more content, do more outreach, learn more things, more skills, whether that's, learning AI or learning how to perfect meal prepping, learning how to keep your house clean, more presence as a parent. And that's the thing, the pressure that is burning you out. And it's this pressure that we're putting on ourselves that is really draining our energy. So, more does not actually equal better results. This is the lie that keeps parent entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general stuck. And that guilt loop is real because, when you're with your kids, you're thinking about your never ending to do list in your business, those urgent deadlines that you've created for yourself or that feel like they've been placed upon you. And then when you're actually get a moment to work, you're thinking about your kids, all of these precious moments that you're never going to get back, or thinking about how they miss you and how you miss them. And so the shift that needs to happen is understanding that doing it all, doing more is not actually the same thing as moving forward. So, what broke this guilt loop cycle for me? It didn't happen all at once. It was a shift that I kind of eased into a rhythm. It wasn't a magical productivity hack that allowed me to get everything done, but actually naming, acknowledging that the guilt is real, the grief of, kids growing up too fast or not having the time that you want in your business, that's real. And that frustration, that sadness. And just naming it, acknowledging it, and then choosing to come back to what's present and what is actually most important to you in any given moment. So, what does a realistic good week look like for me? It's not doing everything. And I have learned to accept that. It looks like waking up and being fully present with my kids in the morning. Sometimes that's a 4 a.m. wake up time. I don't know why they would get up at 4 a.m. I don't get it. But sometimes they do. And so, just allowing myself to be my groggy self and be there with them, for them. You know, tapping into my support from my partner, asking for those 5 to 10 minutes to take a breath for myself, to pull my tarot card, sit down in a few minutes of meditation and intention setting for the day, journaling, just keeping that in that nice little container can really shift the direction for the day. And then allowing that flexibility, building that into my expectations for the day. So, I learned so much from my kids. Kids need transition time and grown-ups do too, especially parents. So, knowing that if you're going to be dropping your kids off, you might need to bake in an extra 15 to 20 minutes because there very well may be a meltdown. And you don't want to be simultaneously feeling the stress of rushing to your next meeting and wanting to be there for your kids. So, allowing that to be part of the schedule. And then knowing what your work windows look like in advance and really asking yourself, what is going to be the thing that moves the needle? If I only have time for one thing today, what's going to get me to whatever the goal, whatever the focus is in your business? So maybe it's making your next sale. Maybe it's, expanding your reach, your audience. And so, understanding you're not gonna build your entire empire in a day. You're gonna focus on what's next, on making those calls, on writing that email, and then letting the YouTube channel, hello, it's been years now and I'm just finally getting around to it, and that's okay because I have been doing the thing that's getting me clients. And now I'm at the stage where I'm saying, okay, I want to let myself be seen by you lovely people that I have not had the opportunity to have that interaction with. And so letting that be okay, letting your timeline stretch a little bit, knowing that you're doing what you can. So letting yourself feel that frustration, like, yes, I really want to do all the things. I want to have a beautiful website. I want to have like my house tidy and all of the toys organized and put away. And then sometimes that just is not the thing that needs to happen this week, this month, this season. Coming back to why you're doing what you're doing, why you're building a business. Um, you know, I have an Aries moon on my midheaven. So it was always going to be the entrepreneurial path for me. And then becoming a parent was just the catalyst that I needed to really know that creating a business was going to allow me to have that flexible schedule I want with my kids, to, take time off when I need it, having that time freedom, that flexibility to prioritize my kids and to structure my business in a way where I get to do both. So whether for you it's that time freedom that is important, and it's also that healing impact that we have. And so coming back and asking yourself, how am I going to make an impact in the world today? Whether it's with your clients, with your kids, and letting that drive your focus and your decisions, and giving yourself permission to let some things slide. So you don't have to have a totally polished YouTube channel with a bajillion subscribers right now. You can focus on just doing the next thing. So as long as you're protecting your rhythm, your presence, your reason for doing this, that's what really matters. And so the thing that most parent entrepreneurs try that do actually make it worse is this nap time hustle trap. So trying to cram all of your work into that one sweet, quiet window where the kids are napping or watching Sesame Street, and you just end up burning through your own fuel, your own energy. Because kids are a lot. They're a lot of energy, a lot of mental, emotional, physical energy. And again, lesson from my toddlers is that we work best as humans when we go through these kind of circadian rhythm cycles where we have energy that rises and we're being creative and engaged and dynamic. And then it falls, and we need to honor that and space out and do nothing for 20 minutes or take that power nap. And so, if you are trying to cram more of that output energy into a time where you have an opportunity to be in that rhythm, same rhythm as your kids, then you are just, it's such a recipe for burnout. And so, just like your kids' nervous system need that rhythm, you need that rhythm too. And trying to push through it every single time, you're going to get lower and lower returns on your investment of time. So, prioritize your rest and understand that that could very well be the thing that unlocks your next creative idea or your next big aha moment where you're like, oh, this is the person I need to reach out to who this offer is perfect for, or just like locking in your messaging, or check in with yourself. Are you actually going to show up from that place of magic? Or do you need to chill out for a minute and just let it come, you know? So I want to be honest that this system, realistically good week that I have been able to create in my business, it comes from having support systems. I am so lucky to have a super supportive partner who is a mother to our children, who we support each other in our creative pursuits, our passions. And so we find a balance where we can kind of cycle through who's watching the kids, who's working. I also have parents nearby who are super supportive. And I also have another set of co parenting parents who the kids are spending half of their time with. And so that does allow me to have dedicated work time. And I know that not everybody has that. Some of you are working a full time job, are a single parent, and that's a lot. And so, it still holds true that that self care time that you find for yourself in any kind of quiet moment you get in your busy life, that's just as essential, if not more essential. And you will need to consider how can you get support to even carve out a few dedicated hours each week. So thinking about like what kind of community can you tap into? Maybe it's a mom group where you can start making some friends and do a childcare kind of swap. Or if there's any resources for community daycare in your area, those are things to spend some time researching and really tapping into. And then, in those focused hours that you have, no matter how many, like how much support you have, whatever kind of focused time you can have, you want to make sure that you show up to that clear, in alignment with what is going to be that thing that moves the needle. What can you really let go of? And so this is where investing in a business coach pays for itself, because when you have someone who can clearly see your situation, who understands your strengths and your challenges, and who can help outline a strategy, a step by step strategy for you that's really in alignment with who you are, where you're at, then you can actually show up to that time and truly make strides rather than just spinning. So, if any of this resonated for you and you're building something, this is the path for you, that you want to create this business so you can both be a super present parent, loving parent, and make this healing impact in the world while supporting yourself and your children, your family, raising those beautiful small humans. And you're ready to stop guessing, stop putting pressure on yourself to do things that don't really matter in the long run, then I want to invite you to a free call that I have. It's a sacred business alignment call where we're going to look exactly how to build your business in a way that truly fits your life. So if you want to take me up on that, the link is in the description. And if this video is helpful for you or you enjoyed it at all, hit subscribe. That would be super helpful for me. And I'm going to be continuing to make videos for all of you beautiful healers and coaches and change makers who are building something meaningful. And I'd love to have you here for what's next. So take good care, and I will see you on the next one.